Good evening, Prasad, and this is Kini News. Thousands think PN is a hashtag Kerajaan Gagal, especially on Twitter. But Annuar Musa disagrees. According to him, PN has been successful. How did he come to this conclusion, you may ask? That's because people who act like there is no pandemic is a government success indicator, according to him.
Federal Territories Minister Annuar Musa says Malaysians do not appear to be afraid of COVID-19 because the Perikatan Nasional Government is handling the pandemic successfully. During a talk show organised by Harakah with Kedah Menteri Besar Sanusi Muhammad Noor, Anwar said this can be seen as a success indicator.
Di manakah keberadaan negara kita pada masa ini dalam soal mengawal COVID? Kita having problem, orang tak takut dengan COVID. Ya? Bila orang tak takut, artinya bagi sesetengah orang ini tidak wabak. Larang pun dia buat, jangan retas sempadan dia nak buat, dia tak takut sampai kita terpaksa menggunakan kuasa-kuasa kepolisian. Sepatutnya bila wabak, masing-masing akan pertahankan diri sendiri. Pada saya itu adalah indication bahawasanya kita berjaya mengawal wabak sehingga dia tidak dianggap wabak oleh sesetengah orang.
Anwar questioned how the government could be said to be failing in its response to the pandemic when 1 million people are receiving vaccines every 4 days. For the record, only 5.5 million people have been fully vaccinated as of Wednesday.
Sekarang ini, angka kita tak pun mencecah 5 angka. Dia naik sekejap 8-9 ribu, kita ambil tindakan tertentu, sekarang dia turun balik. Kemudian bila kita relax, kita berikan peluang banyak aktiviti, berjalan balik, kes tu naik balik. Jadi secara ringkasnya, pada saya, jangan kita menjadi umat yang tidak bersyukur.
Anwar also explained his understanding of a pandemic and why the PN government is not considered a failure.
Apa maksud pandemik ataupun wabak? Iaitu satu suasana keberjangkitan penyakit sampai di peringkat tak boleh dikawal. Itu maknanya pandemik. Kalau tidak, tak dipanggil pandemik, tak dipanggil wabak. Dia kata soal jangkitan biasa saja. Kalau dikatakan wabak dan nak mengawal wabak adalah dalam keadaan di mana keadaan hilang kawalan. Di luar kemampuan. Sistem collapse. Bila itu berlaku, bermakna gagallah kita untuk menguruskan pandemik.
While Anwar claims PN has been successful in managing the pandemic, only a small fraction of the population have been fully vaccinated. The Special Committee on the COVID-19 vaccine supply has revealed that only 5.5% of the population has received their second dose as of June 23rd. Meanwhile, approximately 14.5% of the population received at least one COVID-19 vaccine dose. Kuala Lumpur has the highest vaccination rate at 46.5% with at least one dose, followed by Putrajaya at 32.3% and Labuan with 29.5%. The lowest vaccination rate was recorded in Sabah with only 9%. Kedah and Terengganu also reported low vaccination rates with 10.1 and 10.4% respectively. As of yesterday, 15.6 million people, or slightly less than half of the population, have registered for vaccination. Guys, Malaysia needs a free press more than ever, and being an independent media outlet can be tough. This is why we need your help to help us continue doing what we do. Click on the link in the description and find out how you can be a contributor. And all the names you see below are the awesome people who helped us in May. And now to our next story. Just keep in mind, Sabah has the lowest vaccination numbers.
Ideal Adha prayers and korban or sacrificial rites can be performed in Sabah despite the current movement control order still being in place after the state government gave the green light. However, according to State Local Government and Housing Minister Masidi Manjun, this will be subject to strict guidelines to curb the spread of COVID-19. He explained that for the Ideal Adha prayers, the congregation will be limited to 1/3 of the total capacity of the prayer area or 50 people, whichever is lower. The congregants must also have completed both doses of their vaccine shots and comply with other conditions stipulated by the state religious authority, subject to the current COVID-19 situation. The sacrificial rites were allowed except for areas placed under the Enhanced Movement Control Order and depended on an approval from the state authorities based on the advice from the Health Ministry and the National Security Council. In a statement issued last night, Masidi said the sacrificial rites must be held at slaughterhouses, licensed private ruminant slaughterhouses, as well as mosque or surau compounds in an open area with approval from the relevant authorities. He also said that the number of animals to be slaughtered at mosques and surau should not exceed 5 a day, except for goats, which will be capped at 10. Masidi, who is the state government spokesperson on its COVID-19 response, said only 20 people who have completed both doses of the vaccine shots and are healthy will be allowed to be involved in the activity, and the korban meat is to be distributed from house to house.
UMNO veteran Nazri Abdul Aziz and party president Zahid Amidi are caught in a war of words over Zahid's place in the party. UMNO President Ahmad Zahid Amidi has rubbished allegations that 25 UMNO MPs have lost confidence in his leadership. Speaking to Utusan Malaysia, Zahid described the allegation brought by Padang Rengas MP Nazri Abdul Aziz as a cartoonish story. Yesterday, Nazri told Malaysia Kini that a majority of BN's 42 lawmakers have lost confidence in the BN chairperson, who is also Zahid. He said 25 declarations were signed giving Sembrong MP and BN Treasurer General Hishamuddin Hussein the mandate to speak on behalf of the coalition to the Yang di-Pertuan Agong. Nazri accused Zahid of giving misleading information to the Agong that BN MPs supported PKR President Annuar Ibrahim as Prime Minister. He said he lost trust in Zahid after finding out that the king wanted to meet all party leaders. In October last year, Zahid allegedly signed a letter to the Yang di-Pertuan Agong pledging support for Annuar. Zahid's office claimed that the letter was fake. However, former UMNO Secretary General Annuar Musa said otherwise.
Shellfish, red meat, and beer. If you love indulging in these foods, you may end up with high uric acid level in your blood. These foods consist high level of purine, a substance that will eventually break down into uric acid and be excreted through our urine. It is recommended that the amount of dietary purines should be kept between 600 to 1000 milligrams per day. Having too much uric acid in your blood can cause attacks of gout. It can also cause kidney stones and blockage in the kidney. The crystallization of the excessive uric acid in your blood can be eased by reducing purine-rich food to only 100 to 150 milligrams daily, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and consuming urinary alkalinizer like Ural. It consists of sodium bicarbonate, citric acid, and sodium citrate that increases the urinary pH and solubility of uric acid to prevent crystallization. Best of all, it's lemon-flavored and sugar-free. Ural, effective urinary alkalinizer. Neutralize your uric acid problem now.
As the Prime Minister's latest committee looks into the reconvening of Parliament, the Deputy Speaker says they're all set for a reopening.
Deputy Speaker Muhammad Rashid Hasnon is confident that a hybrid Dewan Rakyat sitting can take place at any time because Parliament has the facilities needed to make it happen. Rashid said Parliament was also in the process of finalizing other technical aspects required. Speaking to Bernama, he said, quote, "Of course we are prepared and the existing facilities are adequate. We are making additions to implement a hybrid sitting." However, Rashid said there still hasn't been a date set for the Dewan Rakyat to convene. He said this will need to follow the standing orders that a 28-day notice must be issued before a sitting can convene. He added that the implementation of a hybrid parliament sitting could be a new norm and will go down as a historical moment for Malaysia. Rashid said that if a hybrid Dewan Rakyat sitting does take place, several standing orders will require amendments, including the voting process. This comes after Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin said a bipartisan committee will look into the reconvening of Parliament and whether it can be held in a hybrid mode, a combination of physical and digital.
And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to kinitv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you'd like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to malaysiakini.com. I'm Prasad Michael. Thanks for watching.